Let's walk through my bubble players. Honestly speaking, I know one guy I'm leaning towards, but I haven't made my full decision just yet. One spot in the Western Conference, 5 names. The first on the bubble name is none other than Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren is having such a ridiculous season. Like, he is the favorite to win DPOY after Wemby may not, get the 65 game threshold. He is at 18 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, and only a measly 1.5 assists. But he is leading the league in defensive field goal percentage at the rim when contesting. And y'all know me, I'm a defensive oriented guy. I love a big fella that can prevent the easiest shot in basketball from going in. Even if the offensive input isn't as good as some of the other guys we may have mentioned in this episode, from down the line, this would be the lowest PPG of anybody that we would even be in the conversation. But the defensive impact is so large on a night-to-night basis on a team that their defense truly is their identity, that it's impossible for me not to have him in these conversations, even if the offensive numbers aren't ridiculous. Now, I do want to say for Chet Holmgren, this is his most efficient season in the league by a wide margin. So he's obviously better offensively as he has been over the last couple seasons. But again, I'm only comparing him to the other people that may be in these conversations. The next guy on the list, Julius Randle. Hey, Julius Randle's having a ridiculous season. I read a stat that said in the minutes where it is Julius Randle and no Anthony Edwards. Let me make sure I get my numbers right, because I don't want to misrepresent Julius Randle in this conversation, because he has been so ridiculous in the minutes. And a lot of that is him being used as, like, obviously the absolute hub of the team when there's no Anthony Edwards. He's lived up to everything they could have imagined for him with that new contract and all. The numbers are, when there's Julius Randle and no Anthony Edwards, so far this season is 514 minutes. They have a net rating of a plus 8.72. That's a win. I mean, when they're together, it's only a 4.56. So they're playing better with just Julius Randle and without Anthony Edwards. Now, we flip that, and it's just Anthony Edwards and no Julius Randle. That's a negative net rating of 1. So Julius Randle has lived up to everything you could have imagined for him. And again, another one of the guys that may not actually make my ballot, but I will be remiss to not mention him in his phenomenal season. Well, what was the actual counting stats again? 22, 7, and 5.5. Amazing year so far. And if I'm going to go there to Minnesota, Rudy Gobert is on the short list, man. We talk about Chet having the lowest number of points per game in the conversation. No, not anymore, because Rudy Gobert is here. 11 points per game. Oh, Kenny, what are you doing? 11 rebounds per game. Oh, Kenny, what are you doing? Rudy Gobert is great. He just truly is. I don't know, man. I know he's a wishy-washy looking player. He touched all the microphones and shut the world down. I understand why players and people wouldn't like him, man. But defensively, again, outside of Wembanyama, I don't think there's a defensive player in the world that is better than Rudy Gobert right now. Chet is a close second right there, but I think it truly is Rudy. And he has the best on-off defensive swing in all of basketball. And he's always had, he's had like 2 seasons in his prime where it wasn't necessarily the case, but he's always been a guy that has had a type of swing like that. And even this year is one of the biggest swings of his career, right? Team is just better defensively and like best in the league good when Rudy Gobert is on the court. And like I mentioned, I don't care about, like, I don't want to watch Rudy Gobert in the All-Star game. Yeah, I don't want to see him touch the ball. But when I'm thinking about accolades, I'm thinking about the way we remember players. Having an extra All-Star appearance, if he is deserving, is important. Right now, he's at 3 All-Stars. I think there's a world he could be 4. This is his most efficient season from the field. And that's also incorporating the fact that he actually has been getting in his bag every once in a while. Now, his bag ain't that deep and ain't a Duffy, but he got a bag, and it's so small, but sometimes you pull some rabbits out of it, and boom, you got something. Next name, of course, Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard, man. The knock that you would have on Kawhi Leonard is the fact that the Clippers are still clawing their way to try to make a play-in spot. He is 28 points per game, 6 rebounds, 3.5 assists. Dude, this season from Kawhi, he's 2 percentage of points away from 50, 40, 90. Oh, I had a guy that I was leaning towards, and now I'm thinking about Kawhi Leonard as the number 1 favorite. Do I care that it's in his building, in his arena? Maybe a little bit. I'm sure that plays a little bit. It is kind of weird. There's like, we got it in Utah, and all of a sudden, Lauri Markkanen is an all-star caliber player. The man was averaging 15 here before that. We got it in Cleveland. Jared Allen and Darius Garland. Welcome to the All-Star game. When was the last time we had Indiana? Tyrese Halliburton, all-star. the last time we didn't have a city representing, having a player represent the city at the All-Star game. You know what I mean? Maybe that's enough for Kawhi Leonard to be in it. I don't know. Last name on my short list is Lauri Markkanen. Yeah, you can laugh all you want about the Utah Jazz not being a good basketball team, about how the Utah Jazz gave up 144 points to a Dallas Mavericks team. Can I read you the starting lineup of that Dallas game? In a game where the Dallas Mavericks, golly, matter of fact, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Matter of fact, it is worth it because I don't understand. Yes, I do. Lauri Markkanen, when he plays, he's 28 points per game, 7 rebounds, 2.2 assists. Shout out to Lauri Markkanen, right? You know, he's playing really good hoops. When Lauri Markkanen plays so far this season, the team is just 5 games under. Okay, I don't have an argument other than Lauri Markkanen puts up a lot of numbers, and that's my boy. They gave up 144 points to a team that started Nnaji Marshall, Brandon Williams, Jaden Hardy, Caleb Martin, and Dwight Powell. A guy I had never heard before, Miles Kelly, played 20 minutes and looked incredible. So the Jazz probably don't deserve an all-star this season, but I did want to show my boy Lauri Markkanen a little bit of love. So after giving you my 5 bubble players, here are the 2 people that I'm leaning towards. First one is Chet Holmgren. Second one is Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is actively dealing with an injury, so maybe there's a world where that's just enough for him not to make it. Maybe he makes it and he gets an injury replacement. Maybe the injury replacement is Chet. But I do think that Chet Holmgren has a conversation to be an absolute lock considering the defense. Like, second most important player on a team for a lot of it that look legendary. Maybe not legendary, still maybe all championship worthy. Best team in the league. Best team in the league traditionally gets like 2 at least. Is Shea that? Yeah, he is that. But I'm going to go Kawhi Leonard as my last guy in, with Chet Holmgren being his injury replacement if he's not ready to go. It hurts. And now I'm thinking to myself, does Chet Holmgren have an argument versus somebody that has it a lock? Does he have an argument over Jamal Murray? I just don't think he does, considering Jokic goes down and Jamal Murray and the company continue to be great. Does he have a conversation over Denny? Other than the team success? No. Not over Curry, not over Book, and not over any of the other guys because they got the regular season wins and the crazy stats to count for. So, is there an argument? Oh, this is about to ruffle some feathers, and I don't even know how I feel about it, but I'm put out there. Is there an argument for Chet Holmgren to be an all-star of Alperen Sengun? I'll let you sit on that one. I'll let you sit. Maybe it's just unequivocally no. Alperen Sengun is a 22-point per game score, basically. Chet Holmgren is a 17-point per game score. But if you value that other side, maybe it is a little bit closer than the count stats may say. And also, the Houston Rockets as good enough to have 2 All-Stars when just 2 days ago before their last win, they were in the play-in. See, these are the conversations you got to have for yourself. I guess it's just a matter of when the ballots get shifted in. Like I said, the actual All-Star starters are going to be announced on Peacock and NBC. But that's my ballot. Let me read you again my Western Conference. We got Shea, we got Wemby, we got Jokic, we got Anthony Edwards, we got Kevin Durant, Alperen Sengun. Did I convince myself the Chet thing? No. We got Doncic, Booker, Curry, Denny, Murray, and then Kawhi with Chet Holmgren being an injury replacement. Whew. That was tough. The Eastern Conference, I just flew through the East, man. The Eastern Conference was just so very easy. All right, let's get to some Ask KB. I'm going to start off with this one from John Morant Show. How much of a sample size is needed to turn your stock around? I'm referring to Zeke Nnaji. Oh, my God, Zeke Nnaji love. Playing well with his recent minutes on a hampered Nuggets team. How much does a team need to see before they're willing to trade for someone in a situation like that? A lot more than what we've seen. Zeke Nnaji was a guy that I had as a breakout player maybe 2.5 years ago, and then he proceeded to just be pretty bad. This stretch is more intriguing now because for a long time there was a pillar, a portion of Nuggets Twitter that was like, Kenny, get ready to learn Zeke Nnaji because we about to trade y'all Zeke Nnaji for Ayo DeSumo, straight up 1-for-1. Maybe we throw you some seconds. And I was like, bros, cut it out, man. Zeke Nnaji, it feels like an unmovable contract. Jokic had went down from like a game or two. And even in those games, Zeke Nnaji couldn't play. And I was just like, oh, no, it's raps. But now you're seeing that there is something there. There is a real NBA player in there. And if I am the Nuggets or am a guy that's going to try to pop that player off to get somebody a little bit better, because he went from a guy with 0 value or maybe 3 value out of 10, and now we add some second-round picks on top of that, and boom, we might be ready to add to our actual core, somebody that's making around the $8 million mark. So I would say Ja Morant show just a little bit more of a sample size to make him somewhat of an asset. But as a completely non-starter, I think he's out of that conversation. I think you look at him and say there is a real NBA player there.
Hit subscribe for more news, highlights, and analysis from the NBA on NBC.